Hi everyone, Alan here from Danumblades. Now I've got something slightly different today. I've been asked to rehandle one of these, I don't know, switchblade sort of things. Not switchblades, but basically you've got the knife blade and you've got like a gut-up kind of blade on the back. It's basically, you're supposed to press the button and it'll be able to swing round, but the button seems a bit jammed. Not entirely sure why. It's been rehandled once before, but the guy that's got it wants it put into a different colour, so we're putting it to some. I haven't done this one before. He wants a G10 green with some orange G10 liners on it. It's already got like the metal liners on the inside of it, so I think it's just a case of putting the other scales on top and drilling all the holes in the right places. But I also want to try and shape it as well. So what I might do is make a solid blank to go in the inside to the shape that I actually want the handle. So once I do shape it all to that, then I can take it off that and put it onto this one. But I don't know what to do apart from, I think the best option is to take it all apart. Right, so I think it might be worthwhile taking a few photos of this as I'm going along, just to give us a bit of an idea when I come to put it back together. I'm not sure if one of the parts were in the wrong place, so that's why it was jamming up a bit. But I'm going to what I'm going to do, put it back together, just so I've got it in my mind's eye that I know what I'm doing when I am putting it back together. And then what I'll do is I'll line everything up with another bit of steel to make a template out, and then what I'll do is I'll cut that out, get that to where the situation, the shape that I want it, and then I'm going to heat treat it. And the reason I'm going to heat treat it is because I want it hardened, so when I come to shape the other handle off, I don't end up taking a load of steel out of my template at the same time, just in case anyway. So I'll take a few photos and then, like I say, put it back together. Now it does look like it's fairly straightforward, just a handle piece. I think the handles I'm going to put on are going to be that bit wider. Let's have a look, see what these are. Gets this thing working. It never wants to. There we go. Right, zero it off. And 5.56. See, other one's the same. 6.3, might be just at different places. 5.8, 5.9, 5.5, 5.6, 5.3. Yeah. So the handles are that I'm making. I'm doing one of them 6.3 mil G10, and the other one is 3.2. So just shy off 10 mils of micarta, so they are going to be that little bit wider, so it gives me the opportunity to try and sculpt the blade off a bit. I just need to make sure that I get these holes drilled to the right sort of depth when I put it all back together. Hopefully, when I do put it all, drill them out, I can put these little caps back in, shape the handles up, and it's not actually going to affect them because they are quite small, or narrow anyway. Just got to make sure that they're lined up properly. see how this all fits together. So I'll use that other side, pop that in. Next bit was this one. Then it was this bit. And the blade itself. Fits in. On the side panel. Oh, that's dropped out. And then my panel should fit like so. Probably could take a little bit out of that to make it line up better. No, I think I'll leave it. Spacer obviously needs to be pulled out a bit more. The handle's a little bit bigger. Yeah, quite happy with that. That button line seems to line up. Might need to just sculpt this out a little bit when I actually come to put it on. Obviously not this bit, but so that needs to fit on top of there. And I think, like I say, it's cut out on that one. There's not much in between those two. So I think it's a case of drilling them and then just taking out a little bit out of that one. Just so it don't catch up. Right, anyway, seem to be quite happy with that. Right, so I've got my template sorted. This is now ready for cutting the handles out. Only problem is I've glued up some board, which is some green G10, olive green G10 with some hunter orange, and it's not supposed to be green and orange, it's supposed to be blue and orange. So what I've got to do is glue all these back. Well, I've got two cut out. I'm going to get them glued up and then I can get them all sorted onto the next stage, cutting the handles out. Right, finally got it sorted, blue on orange. Now I've just got to work out where I've put my template to start cutting these ones out. Let's find out. Found it. Right. Sunshine coming through windows, but I think I've got it just about sorted. A few things that you probably haven't seen. One of them, on one side of the handles, you've got to sculpt it out slightly so the spring's got somewhere to sit into, so it will release the knife as it switches over. Another thing that I had to do was sculpt out where the button in as well, just so you can get your thumb in. And the handle's, I think, a little bit wider than what the original was, so it just needed to take out a little bit more. But that's all together. I've also given the blade a little bit of a fettle, so that's got a bit of an edge back on it again. So next job is to put it all back together, and then I've got to make a sheath for it as well. right there. But anyway, sheath's sorted, as up to the point where I've dyed it, I've burnished the edges on it, holes are all punched in, I've put the stamp there, my logo onto it as well, and I've also glued a welt onto the one side. Next job is to, well, I've got a belt loop on it, but what I'm going to do is put a brass D-link on. It's heavy duty one from Abbey Foundry, because it's going to have a drop dangler on it as well, so that's going to be stitched on. So I've got to stitch that onto it. I've got to re-stamp or put the holes through my welt as well, because I usually do them on both sides, so at least it's not as difficult to force the all through later on. Then once all that's done, I'm going to wet form it to the knife and then let it dry out before I glue it onto the opposite side, and then stitch it all back up together, and also put my drop dangler on. So next job, stitching. Right, so I've stitched it on and hammered through all the extra holes. I've also put another line in there so it just tightens up the top, because when you fold it over, this will just pull apart otherwise if you don't. So an extra line of stitching. Next job, wet forming. Wrap this one up in cling film and then place it in, wrap it round, and then I've got to let it dry out before I can stitch anything else onto it. So that's the EKA Swingblade all sorted. The sheath's all finished, it's stitched, edges have been dyed and burnished, and it's ready to go back out. So if you like the video guys, please give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can follow what I'm on to on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you very much guys, and I'll see you later.